D. Fredder.
Life is full of infinite possibilities if you want it to be. It's full of miracles, tragedies, mysteries, seasons of joy and misery. Some say life is a simulation or an unfinished poem. Some say life leads to God down an old dusty road. Life is really simple and really complex. And I've wasted most of my life worrying about my next step. But life is not a path you walk. Life is not a wave to ride. Life is not a game to win. And life is not a war to fight. Did you know that if you took the history of the entire planet and condensed that into a calendar year, your life would take up less than 1/10 of a second? Now that might make you feel insignificant. I like to think it means we're all part of something infinite. I used to think it would be great to be great. So I put myself under a lot of pressure, then I collapsed beneath the weight. I hear a lot of people say they'll be the greatest of all time, but they ain't let time decide. I guess we all legends in our own minds. Now you want to work a grind, hey, that's perfectly fine. But your value doesn't come from the mountains that you climb. Value is not something you can buy or something you can earn. I've been around a minute, that's the one thing that I've learned. Now I understand the need to feel celebrated. You want to feel accepted. You want to feel validated. We're all just trying to prove we're worthy of a love we think we lack. But that love comes from within. So if you look outside yourself, you're off track. So look deep inside yourself because your heart might be full of cracks. You may have lost your light, so that heart is looking black. But that love you need is waiting there just dying to come back. And that's when you realize that love is the one thing that you've never lacked. Because you have so much love inside of you to give. So start by giving it to yourself. That's the only way to live. Your love's like a little kid waiting in the darkest parts of your heart. It's waiting for the safety found in your open arms. It's waiting for you to tell them that it's going to be all right. Hey, if you can do that shit, you'll find the meaning of your life. How y'all doing? Damn. Must be doing pretty good then. This is amazing, man. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. A week ago, no one was coming, so this is a great turn of events. Wow. I wrote a book. It did pretty okay. For those of you who don't know me, you've never seen me before, you don't have YouTube or TikTok or anything like that, my name is D. Fredder, and I'm a pretty big deal. But I ain't no big deal. I'm a figment of God's imagination, but I'm the realest of the real. My thoughts don't have a beginning, middle, or end. Like water in a stream, I'm as solid as a rock. I'm just vibrating energy. I'm a dream chasing dreams, an idea hatching schemes. I'm the trick up my own sleeve. I'm just fading memory. I'm the artist and the masterpiece. I'm the beauty, I'm the beast, I'm the music, I'm the beat, I'm the ocean, I'm a breeze. I take forever to say nothing. I'll say it all in an instant. I'm connected to everything and everyone, and it don't matter the distance. Yo, I have a way with the lowest form of communication. This language shit, it's just a mass agreed upon hallucination. The only time my words meet a dam is when I'm being honest. I'm just the vibrating energy that I've been trying to harness. Like catching lightning in a bottle, and the lightning is a message, but I'm just the paper. I'm not the one who said it. Yeah, I'm just the one who said it. Fuck. I had a dope line, but now I forget it. But that's okay, man. I must not have meant it. Thank you. Man, I know that poetry is a niche art form, and not everybody's like into it. So thank you for taking that risk. And I want everyone to feel like comfortable and have a good time. So how about I do a poem about Jesus? I'm gonna take that as a yes, which is good because that's what I planned. So if you're like, yo, fuck that, I'd be like, oh no. Sometimes I wonder if Jesus came back today, would the church recognize him? Would they be singing hallelujah? Or would they just despise him? The most wicked men I've ever met are the ones who speak of Jesus. But the ones who love me like he would are heretics and non-believers. So every Sunday morning, I kind of feel like a heathen. No guardian angels, just a lot of inner demons. Now, I'm not knocking on religion, but I think it stands to reason. We need to take a closer look at the gods that we believe in. Because if your God advocates for hate and builds these big golden gates to keep heaven's population wealthy, white, and straight, well, then I'm sorry to say, but our gods are not the same. My God is love, and that love can't be contained. It goes deeper than any ocean. It goes farther than any star in outer space. It's a love you can't resist once you get a real taste. My God is in the melodies that the birds sing. My God is in my wife's eyes. My God is in everything. Man, my God made everything. Without my God, you can't do anything. Because without love, you can't do anything. I mean, without love, is there anything? Your God's an old white man sitting on top of the clouds. My God sat with the least of these down here on the ground. Your God gave you a list of things you are and aren't allowed. My God gathers the poor and the hungry and feeds the entire crowd. Now, you might think they're the same guy, but there is a slight division. See, my God didn't come to build a broken system like religion. Damn. Guess I am knocking on religion because it's something that y'all missing. And that's God. That's love. See, the church asked me to crucify my identity in exchange for salvation. So what y'all are witnessing is my resurrection. So I'm going to start a new religion where we don't care about your gender, sexuality, or the color of your skin, and empowerment of women is a given. Now, we still believe in God, but we don't make her in our image. And when we pray, we ain't say, we just listen. You got a seat at a table, whether you're a saint or you sin, and heaven's got no gate, so you always welcome in. So come on in. Bring your joy, bring your pain. It's time to start your healing and watch yourself change. Time to start your healing and watch your cells rearrange. Time to start your healing and realize you've always held the key to your own cage. And we don't want your money. We ain't taking money. So if you want to make an offering, just go and feed somebody. Just go and see somebody. Just go and be somebody when somebody needs somebody. And we don't sing hymns. We just listen to the birds and the breeze through the trees. No stained glass windows, just the mountains and the seas. Yeah, I'm going to start a new religion. Ain't no religion at all. There's no pulpits, no pews, no doors, no walls. Yeah, I'm going to start this new religion. Ain't no religion at all. So you can't fucking join it. But you can answer my altar call. See, I believe in heaven because I've been through hell. And I've lost more pieces of myself than I would ever care to tell. And I believe in God. I'm pretty sure she's black. And if that last line offended you, you should reflect on that. Thank you. I can feel a little bit of tension in the room, and that's my bad. I'm sorry. I knew I should have started the show with a bit about childhood. Like, remember when your only motivation was to use your imagination? You could be a superhero or build your own nation. You could fight a dragon as a knight in cardboard armor. Save the damsel in distress before the monster could harm her. You could build a time machine, run away from dinosaurs, turn your bed into a pirate ship and sail to places you ain't been before. Yo, remember riding your bike down to the corner store? Things that used to be special don't feel so special anymore. Remember life before the hustle? Remember life before the grind? Remember life before you were stressed out and losing your minds? Do you remember when you had no goals and you could let hours just pass away? Do you remember when you used to play? Well, maybe it's time to reconnect to your creativity. Every cell you're made of is a galaxy filled with infinite possibilities. Why does getting old mean dimming the light inside your soul? Just because your hair is going gray don't mean your heart has to go cold. Now, pardon me if I'm being too bold, but I'll be dancing in my kitchen even when I'm old. I'll be 85 and wailing on old guitars. I'll be 85 closing down the karaoke bar. My girl and I will go and ride the tallest roller coasters and then maybe get caught making out where we're not supposed to. And then tomorrow I'm gonna learn how to paint. Make myself this big birthday cake. It sounds stupid, but it ain't. Life's too short, so why wait? Find your joy. Act a little childish. Be a fucking goof. Let your imagination run the wildest. Reignite that fire in your soul and let y'all smile be the brightest. You know, when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a teenage mutant ninja turtle. Because I could rock any headband, red, blue, orange, purple. And then I'd never go to school, eat pizza all the time, roll around in that dope van, and April O'Neil was fucking fly. I'd be a hero in the half shell, saving the day and fighting crime. A teenage mutant ninja turtle, that would be the life. Now this might sound silly, maybe even nonsensical, but I used to be jealous of the turtles because they all looked identical. See, I'm adopted. A black kid in a white family, in a white neighborhood, in a very white city. And when you're the only black kid that you know, you get lonely pretty quickly. The other kids treated me like a freak. My parents made jokes like I'm the literal black sheep. I mean, at least the turtles had each other. They were best friends. They were brothers. I watch them every Saturday morning and wonder if they could use another. I was longing for community, and that wound still runs deep. I wouldn't mind being a freak if I had somebody who looked like me. Thank you. So, my book came out last January. For those of you watching at home, like a year ago. It's on Amazon, link in the show notes, description, whatever. Please go buy it. I make no money off of this. So my book came out, and I did a couple podcast interviews and some like Instagram TV interviews and stuff like that. And, you know, a lot of like, what's your process? What is joy? What is misery? What does that mean to you? What's up with this Ninja Turtle fixation? I remember doing this one interview where the interviewer asked me what is the hardest poem to write, or what was the hardest poem to write, and what's the hardest poem to perform? And the answer for both is this one. It's called Robbie. This is really awkward because my brother's here. Don't look at him. This show's about me. So there's a smile that I wear from time to time. My mom says I get it from you. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. I get lost looking for you in the mirror. I used to think you were the answer to all of my questions. But not every question gets an answer, does it? Fuck. That's another question. Ghost Dad, your absence has always haunted me. But then again, I am the skeleton collecting dust in my mother's closet. Every family has their secrets. I just hate that I have to be one. She carried me for 9 months and spent that time in a women's shelter away from her family, had me in secret, and gave me away a couple weeks later. I grew up asking myself questions like, why? How come she don't want me, man? And the answers were never clear. I'm told that it's complicated and that I couldn't understand. And that it's not personal, but goddamn, feels personal. She once told me that she loves me, and I want to believe her, but part of me is still 8 years old. Standing on a basketball court watching some other kid's mom jump and shout, "That's my baby!" Y'all see that? That's my baby. And knowing I'll never hear my mother say the same about me. She once told me, "You will always be the deepest part of my heart and soul." And I wonder if that's why it's so easy to keep me buried. Thank you. The whole show is not a bummer, I promise. So, guess it was like a couple months ago, which again, if you're watching this at home, this is like last year. This guy, I did a show, right? And this guy, an older gentleman, walked up to me. He's like, "I need to talk to you." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "So you identify as black, right?" I was like, he said, "Okay, well, I identify as Andorian." I didn't know what that meant. He's like, from Star Trek. I've never seen 1 minute of Star Trek. I had no idea. He's like, "Okay, well, they're these aliens, right? And they're blue, and they got these like trumpet-looking things growing out of their foreheads." I Googled them. They look messed up. It's weird. I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Because, I'm black because my dad's black. But, we pass for white." I don't. I have gone to John Mayer concerts before, and they know I don't fit. But I'm white because my mom is white, but, we got a touch of the tar brush. You can't say that. You do not know. I know I just taught someone a racial slur. You don't get to use it. You can. None of the rest of you. I was like, okay, it was weird. And I was like trying to figure out why he was telling me this. He's like, food for thought. And I was like, what a shitty cook. And we parted ways. And I drove home. I was so confused. I'm like, why? What about my set said you should tell me to identify as a blue alien with trumpets growing out of their forehead? And look, I don't know this guy. He's older than me. He grew up biracial in the 60s, 70s, 80s, right? Race relations aren't good now, but they were worse then. Segregation and all that. And so, he's found a coping mechanism to help deal with that. I don't want to knock that. Being biracial is a nuanced life experience, and I'm not going to, tell other biracial people how to deal with that. That's not my place. I just know that whenever I walk into black spaces, I am not kicking in the door, being like, "My is I don't do that. I'm just happy to be there. For reference, check those last couple poems. As I was trying to figure out why did he want to pass on this fake wisdom, and I think it's because I did this next poem, and he was thinking, I gotta speak life into this kid. So I attended a Dutch Reformed Christian high school. And I would say I wouldn't wish that experience on my worst enemies, but that's where I met him. I encountered racism of varying degrees daily, from microaggressions to full-on assaults. Older kids would grab and caress my hair and say, "Hey, it's your fault for having an afro, right?" My classmates would make racist jokes, some going so far as to call me a nigga, and one liked to beat me when he did it. And when I would fight back or voice my outrage, I'd be told I ain't got no reason to complain because I'm not that black. Okay, well, how black do I gotta be? How black do I gotta be before the words that you speak that stick in my gut like a dull knife are allowed to make me bleed? How black do I gotta be before your gaslight runs out of fuel and y'all left alone in the dark? How black do I gotta be before you beating me for being black is a fucking hate crime and not just playing around? Please explain this blackness to racism scale because I don't understand it. Probably because I'm not that black. But wait, I'm black enough to be followed by security guards when I go into nice stores. I'm black enough to be told I shouldn't get married to a white woman. I'm black enough to get beat by police for going for a walk in my own fucking neighborhood, so I'm pretty fucking black. And my blackness is not up for debate. And even if it was, you are not qualified to speak on it. Because blackness be my birthright. It's the only gift my father ever gave me. My blackness is beautiful. Ain't nothing funny about it. My blackness is powerful. Ain't nothing lesser about it. My blackness is wonderful. Because when God knit me together, she gave me this skin. You only dress royalty in the finest. So if your bigoted eyes can't see a fucking masterpiece when you see one, gouge them out. Thank you. This was hard to memorize, so. I wasn't raised in a black household, and at times my connection to my heritage was just a lonely thread. My infatuation with R&B music, my fascination with hip-hop culture was discouraged, to say the least. I would be scolded for saying things like with you instead of with you. I'm sure this was meant to protect me, to keep me from living up or living down to the expectations placed on black men. My adoptive parents didn't want me to embody the stereotypes they believed in. But you know, there's just some things you can't beat out of somebody. As an adult, I've been slowly reconnecting to my black roots. It's hard work. Those ties were severed before I was born. But the crown of blackness is my birthright, and I'm going to wear it. I've been studying my history, listening to the music, reading the poets, but I have to say, my favorite aspect of black American culture is the food. Soul food is more than a type of cuisine. It's a rebellious act of creativity, resourcefulness, and defiant joy. West African slaves on southern plantations given small scraps. They combined the culinary sensibilities of the homeland with the native ingredients of this new land to turn garbage into gourmet. Something that could sustain you with just a little. It's almost divine. Didn't God make Adam out of ashes? Didn't Jesus turn water into wine? Or feed 5,000 people with a couple loaves of bread and fish? It reminds me of poets, by which I mean all artists, taking the garbage that life throws at us and making something that feeds. A scientist quantifies reality. The mystic feels creation. And the poet does something in between. Thank you. Y'all are an amazing crowd. Thank you so much for being here. I'm not gonna like point at her or anything like that because I don't want to embarrass her and the show's about me. But this next poem I'm gonna dedicate to my best friend, Alexis Lynn. Thank you for making me finish this poem. Sacred soil, magic mud, ocean water, lifeblood. I believe that everything has got a bit of God's touch. Lately, my soul has been going through the process of terraforming. Like everything I make is me trying to restore me. Like every bar I spit is by me and for me. Whether it's a joke, a song, a poem, it's a fucking good story. Now the devil want to buy my soul, turns out he can't afford it. My inner glow is so fucking bright the stars can't ignore it. You know, I heard somewhere in the universe there's a diamond the size of planet Earth, which puts into perspective what a diamond's really worth. There's diamonds and gold all over outer space, but apparently you won't find a blade of grass in any other place. And it's unsurprising we've been given a great cosmic gift and we let it go to waste. You know, pretty soon, the corporations are going to charge us for air to breathe, even though trees have been giving it away for centuries. It's like we forgot that we came from the ground. Man, the soil is our hometown, and the answers to this existential threat aren't up, they're down. They come from within, not out. We're disconnected from ourselves. We're too connected to our screens. Waste our lives chasing likes, money, sex, and greed. Now they got us programmed like we're broken machines, and we don't know the difference between a want or a need. Y'all, I heard somewhere in the universe there's a diamond the size of planet Earth, which makes me ask the question, what the fuck's a diamond worth? Thank you. Does anybody remember me when I was a musician? Yeah, I'm real sorry about that. So if you've been rocking me for a minute, you remember me when I was a musician, or you've read my book, you would know that a big part of my story, no matter how I choose to tell it, is loss. I think it was 2012, I lost a friend who was essentially like an older brother or like an extra father figure in my life. He passed away in a car accident, and then his wife committed suicide a few months after that. And then a few months after that, because life got hands, boy, 2 other friends from the same crew passed away in another car accident. And I got stuck in this prison of grief. I defined myself by this sense of loss, and I didn't really know what to do with it. And I would love to tell you that I have like some sort of silver lining, or there's going to be this like beautiful, optimistic poem that comes from this. It doesn't. The only thing I really learned from that point in my life is that death is always on my shoulder, and nobody gets out of this life alive. I mean, like, nobody gets out of this life alive. I mean, like, nobody gets out of this life alive. So when my time comes, I'll probably kick and scream and fight. But you can't change a river's flow. You can try with all you might, but nobody gets out of this life alive. We act like we're immortal until proven otherwise. But tomorrow isn't promised. We're all on borrowed time. I mean, everything is borrowed. Nothing's yours. Nothing's mine. But nobody gets out of this life alive. When I was a kid, I thought that life was something to survive. I'd post up on my parents' roof and ask the sky, why? But the answers aren't way out there. They're here below. And you can find them anywhere you go. So just let go. Let that river flow. This life is short, and that's by design, because nobody gets out of this life alive. So when I die, please don't throw me a funeral. But if you must, don't let nobody wear a black suit. Everybody rock some tie-dye, make those colors bright, otherwise what's the use? And don't sing Amazing Grace. Play my favorite songs and flood that place with sound waves. Don't have a wake, throw me a parade. I lived a marvelous life, and that's cause to celebrate. Every breath I took was a gift. It's a gift that I didn't waste. I'm the kind of guy who dreams a dream, then that dream gets fucking chased. But if you need to cry, that's fine. Just don't forget to laugh. Let my friends tell the stories of the adventures that I've had. I know some of you might miss me. Damn, some of y'all might be sad. Know that I hate to leave, and I'm sorry that I can't come back. But I don't believe death is the end. I think it's a new beginning. So my funeral is a send-off for the next life I'll be living. So let that trumpet sound. Hey, dance in the street. Throw my ashes in the ocean off my favorite beach. Then everyone throw a feast. Eat my favorite meals. Sit and talk for a while. Keep the conversation real. If I have a legacy, I pray it's based in authenticity. And maybe my poems will be a part of art history. I mean, probably not, though. And that's totally fine. I'm just saying that when I die, it's okay to cry. Just remember, this ain't goodbye. I'll see y'all on the other side. Thank you. So just so nobody forgets, my name is D. Fretter. It's spelled like D and then Fretter. But I wish I didn't have a name or this frame. If I could, I'd be the wind and then I'd just blow away. I'd go dancing in the forest, weaving through the trees. When I'm angry, I'd be a storm. When I'm happy, I'd be a breeze. I'll travel around the world, over mountains, overseas. My luggage would be the clouds, and the birds would be my company. And then I wouldn't need a home, because home is where I roam. There's nothing I'd have to do. There's nowhere I'd have to go. If I were the wind, all my time would be free. Damn, I'd be free from my deficiencies, insecurities, and idiosyncrasies. If I were the wind, I wouldn't waste my time worrying about my wants or needs. But if I were the wind, yeah, it wouldn't be me. It's just that sometimes I get tired of this human shit. Everybody's fighting over stupid shit, tripping over divisions that shouldn't exist. It's like everybody wants power and they're trying to climb a social ladder. I'd rather knock it down and let it shatter. Because in the end, it don't matter. Bro, even matter don't matter. We've lost sight of all the things that really matter. Doesn't it feel like the world is spinning faster and faster? My feed is filling up with disaster after disaster. And everyone's asking questions. We don't give a fuck about the answers. And nobody's trying to build, but we're all swinging hammers. And our conversation scripted like we're just a bunch of paid actors. You know, sometimes I get tired of this human shit. Everybody's fighting over stupid shit, and I get so frustrated, it feels like I'm losing it. And most days I want to quit, but I won't quit. Otherwise, it'll be more of the same old human shit. I know that pain likes to make more pain. And rage likes to spread. That's why we compare it to a flame. But did y'all know that love is the same? And I know the way of love is the only path that leads to a better place. When I was young, I would lie awake at night and contemplate my suicide. But I decided to hold on to my life until I spent at least one day in the light. But that light was hard to find. I searched far, I searched wide, until one day I looked into my own eyes and saw something flickering way down deep inside. So I stacked my pain like kindling and turned that flame into a blaze. You know, sometimes instead of trying to see the light, you got to learn to be a light. A Reiki master once told me that we came to this world to play, and the things we came to gain don't really cost a thing, and we so focused on score we forgot we in a game. She reminded me this human shit can be pretty great. You got to learn to love the sun and also love the rain. You know, some days, kind of dig this human shit. Thank you. So, when I was younger, I really enjoyed cloud gazing and stargazing and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, just did. I think I thought it made me a more relaxed person. Like, whoa, he's so chill. Look at him just staring at clouds. So zen. But because of that, a lot of my poems reference the sky and stuff like that. And I just want you to know that I know. I'm just inspired by the sky, and I can't help it. I'm a poet. I say all this to say this next poem is called Behind the Clouds. You are not your pain, just like the sky is not the rain. But if you're feeling cold and gray, hey, that's perfectly okay. Just remember the weather ain't never stay the same. The only thing that lasts forever is forever. Everything else will change and fade away. So y'all having a bad life or just a really bad day? Defiant hope and joy is in my DNA because my ancestors were slaves. They were forced into work and tortured and raped and had their identities stripped away. But some found the courage to escape and they refused to be erased. That's why every black person that you meet is a living miracle today. I see a few of them and y'all amazing. Plus, we perfected the art of turning garbage into gourmet. It's called soul food. There's gonna be a lot of days where life don't feel like a gift. Days where it feels like total shit. You wanna pack up and quit. Days where you're exhausted and you can't take another step. It's okay if you need to stop and take a breath. Just remember that the only thing you can't survive is death. So keep going, because you ain't know what's coming next. And there could be something good waiting for you around the bend, so keep going until your heart stops pumping in your chest. And speak your truth with every single breath, because even if it's ugly, pain is a way for us to connect. I'm feeling connected to all of y'all, and I'm feeling fucking blessed. You're not the victim of your past, or at least you don't have to be. Your life story is as much comedy as it is tragedy. So hopefully one day you can sit, talk, cry, and laugh with me. The sun is always shining, even behind the clouds. So it's okay if you can't see it now. I believe one day things will get better, but I don't know when or how. I'll tell you something I do know, though. If you don't love yourself, it's hard to love everybody else. And that's a hard truth. But it's one that I have to tell. Because if you look in the mirror and hate the person in your reflection, y'all missing out on the deepest of connections. Your validation doesn't come from the people that you know or accomplishing a goal. We keep trying that shit, it doesn't work, and it's getting old. You're already valid. It's just the world doesn't want you to know. And we could see this more clearly if we stop dimming the light inside our souls. Now, my poems are kind of redundant, but I don't really mind. Because I'll be talking about self-love until the day I die. See, I believe we were created and that everything has a touch of the divine. So whatever it is you're searching for, it isn't that hard to find. So tap into your heart and quiet down your mind. Take your deficiencies and insecurities and throw that shit behind. Because you are worthy. You might be hurting. And life has dragged you through the mud so you're bloodied up and dirty, but you are worthy. And you have always been. It's okay to love yourself. I'm going to say that bit again. Actually, you know what? I've always wanted to try this. Turn to the person you came with, or turn to a stranger, turn to yourself, and repeat after me. I know it's weird, but let's try it. Turn to the person you came with, turn to yourself, whatever, repeat after me. You. That was pathetic. You are worthy. And you have always been. That was great. This self-love shit's a journey. It's about time that we begin. But look how far you've come. Look at you standing there shining bright just like the sun. I see the moments when you were brave and you refused to run. I see the moments when you were strong and you refused to be undone. I can see your darkest moments when you refused to give up on love. And I know it wasn't easy, because life is really hard. Now you're covered up in bruises and you're covered up in scars, but look how far you've come. Damn, look what you've become. Look what you're becoming. Your inner glow, it's glorious. You're absolutely stunning. And I'm not trying to flirt. I just see the work. You dug your hands into the mud and found love beneath the hurt. So look how far you've come. Look how beautiful you are. Y'all shining like the sun, and that's my favorite star. Thank you. This next poem, I wrote it this week, and it could have been 10 minutes, but I didn't want to memorize that, so I made it a little bit shorter. I'm from a city with tall trees next to a very cold sea. I got smog in my lungs and my skin is made of concrete. A suburban skater kid who talks a little too street. I'm an artist, a jock, and a geek. I'm a gym class hero who talks a little too common. A dirty-headed kid who grew up on Kid Cudi, Kanye, fried chicken, pizza, and ramen. I got a beautiful mind. You can call me John Bellion. This optimist shit, it's my form of rebellion. And I'm a real good kid. Write poems like NQ and sad songs like Mike Posner. I haven't made it quite yet, but I'm getting closer and closer. And in no particular order. Shout out to Miggy, Kate Wallace, Megan Moreland, and Rebecca Baird. My poetic siblings that just couldn't be here. And shout out to Sabrina Benaim, a poet named Superman. You gotta say the whole thing. Masterpiece, Brandon Leak, and Manja Wiles. They let me jump on the mic and help me perfect my poetic style. And shout out to my birth mother. Made the hardest choice to try to give me the best life. And shout out to the fretters who try to raise me to act right. And shout out to Toby, Colton, Carl, and Emily. I miss y'all. I hope I make you proud. I'm going to see you again someday, somehow. And shout out to Pastor Kevin. Thought I could be some kind of leader. And shout out to Mr. Quizzy, my high school art teacher. He taught me how to hold a paintbrush, a spray can, a marker, and a pen. I wonder if he could see what I would become back then. And shout out to my new crew. Ivan, Tones, and Sonny, just to name a few. Doing some big Hollywood shit, and I couldn't do it without you. And shout out to my wife, the love of my life. Seen the best of me, the worst of me. 11 years, you never left my side. And shout out to you, and you, and you, and all of you. Thank you for supporting this poetry. This is a special night, and I'm going to keep this memory close to me. It's been a long journey, but I feel like we're exactly where we're supposed to be. Thank you. So in 2020, what a bad year. In 2020, y'all remember Instagram? Yeah, cool. I posted this picture on Instagram, and it was a little drawing of me flying with a balloon. It had some words on it, and that was like my first poetic post that got a response that kind of let me know, like, hey, like, you could do more of this. People seem to fuck with it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, I wrote it to encourage myself, but other people felt encouraged. And I was like, I would love to do more of that. And so I guess, like, if any poem started it all, the hit single, whatever, this would be that poem. Be great if I remember the words, wouldn't it? Cut that out. We were born without the ability to fly, so that we could find our own ways into the sky. But once you make your mind up and say you're gonna try, someone's gonna tell you that you're out of your mind. But it's not that they don't want to see you up there flying high. It's more likely that they're afraid of heights. Or maybe they were told that you're only allowed to dream dreams that can be found down here on the ground. Personally, I don't think reaching for the stars is so audacious. Considering outer space is so fucking spacious, the idea that there's space for me isn't so outrageous. But if dreaming is a sickness, Lord, I pray that it's contagious. I want singers and comedians taking to the stages. I want to see all you writers filling up your notebook pages. If there's a song in your soul, I pray you're brave enough to play it. And if you've got a vision, I pray you're brave enough to paint it. Break down the walls, rattle the cages, speak your mind, share your heart. That's my definition of courageous. Because this world needs dreamers to lead it to a better place. A place without divisions like religion and race. A planet where the borderlines have been erased. Can we make it to the place where we're all just one human race? Dreamers in the past helped the world to grow and change. It's up to us dreamers to do it all again. I think that God gives us dreams. She gives us things to say. So it's up to us to ask ourselves, am I willing to be brave? Because chasing dreams is brave, it's not insane. So quiet down the voices going off inside your brain. Time to listen to your heart, get that blood pumping in your veins, find the courage to say, yes, dog, you'll never be the same. But do it because you love it. Don't waste your life chasing fame. Don't be afraid to lose, because life is not a game. And don't be afraid to fail, because if you learn, ain't no shame. Just pick yourself up off the ground and learn to fly again. And maybe it's naive to believe in the things we can achieve. Maybe it's stupid to think there's more to life than money, sex, and greed. Or maybe I'm blind. I'm the only one who sees that human beings can fly if they just take the leap. But whatever you do your best. No more and no less. Just remember that your best is going to change from one moment to the next. Thank you so much. My name is D. Fretter. The book is Joy and Misery. God bless every single one of you. This has been so much fun. I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you.